All right. My name is Ian White. I'm a life fulfillment coach, and this is going to be my first video version of my Live Your Life Without Limits show. And like I said, I'm a life fulfillment coach, and what I do is I help people get out of their own way so that they can live the life that they were meant to. And my target market, the people that I like to serve the most, and I just noticed how dirty or how messy my room is. I'm just going to move that. It looks too distracting to me. All right. So I help people of influence, other coaches, other professionals, other people who want to affect change, who want to help people, who want to have a positive ripple effect going outward, so that they can support and help as many people as they can. Just like I'm having the opportunity to do as well. I quit my government job 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, in order to start being a full-time life fulfillment coach, and it's been amazing. It really has been, and I want to help people by giving them content and information and tools so that they can start living a life that is more fulfilling and better for them. The topic I wanted to cover today, my website, if anybody's interested, is coachingdeconstructed.com. And if you have questions or comments, my email address is info@coachian.com. So the topic I wanted to cover today for my first video was the whole idea of trusting your gut. So we are often told by experts to trust your gut, trust your intuition, and follow that because it'll never steer you wrong. And as much as I totally agree with that, and I'm at fault for saying the same type of things, it's not very clear, because we also have a voice in our head that is contradictory, that keeps us stuck, keeps us safe. And it's, what voice am I listening to? So what I wanted to do is to distinguish between your gut intuition or going with your gut and the voice in the head, because they're two very distinct things. So the first is, which one should I start with? So let's start with the voices in the head, because I always think this is kind of fun. So these voices are the voices from your past. They could be the voices of your parents. They're the ones that keep you down, keep you safe, keep you secure. They keep you in your comfort zone. There's usually a lot of angst, anxiety, fear, second guessing of yourself. If you catch yourself saying, I don't know, or yeah, but, this is the voice of the committee. And actually, you can even imagine the kind of, think to the movie Inside Out. You got a bunch of characters sitting around a control panel, and they all get a chance to pull the lever. They got fear, they got sadness, they got joy, they have anger, disgust, and it's a cute movie. I really like it. But imagine that you also have that committee upstairs that is constantly going, that's constantly giving you information and telling you what you should and shouldn't do, or why you should or shouldn't do something. So that's the voice in the head. Okay. Now your gut intuition is the inner knowing, that that voice inside you that's steady, it's calm, it knows, but maybe you don't have any logic to explain why you're making a decision or not. So it's like a trust or a feeling or a vibe, as some people might say. So you trust somebody for a reason, but you don't really understand why. You don't have any language to put around it. So this is the quiet confidence that kind of is there with you all the time. So when you have a big decision to make in your life, let's say it's jumping ship and leaving your career, or starting or ending a relationship even, you will have, a gut feeling as to what to do. But we often outweigh that with rationalization, with justification, with judgment, with that anxious voice that's trying to keep us safe, secure, or not pissing anybody off. So that's what happens when we have these quote unquote big decisions to make. That voice may kick in that is anxious and unsure. But your gut intuition is never wrong. It's always there to support you. Some people will call that their inner voice. Some people will call that your inner knowing, or your higher self, or your higher guidance. And I totally believe that that's what's happening. And you need to be able to tap into that in order to make those decisions and to trust that things are going to work out for you. That's another thing that I often share with people. So let me give you an example of how this is playing out in my life right now, that might give you an idea practically how tapping into your inner wisdom, tapping into your gut versus the voices in your head. So last week I had this kind of bright idea, and I was really excited about it. And I started like scribbling all kinds of notes, got really excited, and it was basically to start supporting coaches and people who take online training in a different way, so that they can finally achieve and complete those courses that they've paid thousands of dollars for, but never quite get to the end of. And if they don't finish, then they don't necessarily make the impact on them and on their clients as they would have liked to when they first started. So I had this big idea that I'm going to go to these big guys, these big coaches in the US, and I'm going to offer them my services to help them have a better execution in their programs, or to help the people going through the course to get to the end. So I was really excited. I was really jazzed up. I put a bunch of posts out on Facebook, and I put it out there, and I asked for some feedback. And as I started to get feedback from people who are in my circle of influence, and in some cases outside my sphere of influence, I started to second guess myself. I started to get feedback that was a little, not down on my idea, but was contradicting it, and didn't think it was a great idea, or didn't think it had as much legs as I thought. I also got some commentary that was quite positive, and I think you should run with this. This is a really good idea, blah, 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 blah. But what happened was it dampened my enthusiasm. And what happened was, so I have my own committee members in my head who are already nervous enough to put myself out there to do something like this. And then when I put it out there and I got information that supported that uncomfortable place, I started to doubt my belief. And what I did is I actually let their committee members, which is based on their past fears and their past experiences, I let them sit on my table. So I actually had their committee members talking at my meeting and fueling the fears and anxieties that are already inside myself. So I can't believe I invited other committee members into my already crowded mind. So yeah, I started to let it to affect me. And then I had to sit and kind of be quiet with myself and kind of reflect back on why I thought this was such a good idea. And trusting that if I wanted to put something out there like this, and I think I will, that it'll be good and that it'll be enough and that I'll get clientele from it. And I don't necessarily have a definition or a reason why that this is a good direction for me, but that's the inner gut. That's the inner story. That's the inner confidence that is coming from that inner voice, coming from that gut voice. So I hope that gives you an idea of how the inner voice, the gut intuition, and the committee that's speaking to you, how that can affect you. And the reason I wanted to share this with you is so that you're able to tap in more often than not to the gut intuition, and to turn up the volume on that ever so slightly so that you can hear it more often, trusting it, using it, and helping you trust in that versus the the committee on the the round table going on upstairs, telling you what you should or shouldn't do, trying to justify, rationalize, and keep you in a place that is not as with less forward progress. What else can I share on this topic? So this can happen in all areas of your life. It could be in your relationships where you first meet somebody and you're not sure you trust them. So, but you don't necessarily have any good reasons why yet. So trust that gut intuition. Um, for me, I had a trip. I went to San Jose in was it March of this year, and I went on a gut feeling that this was a place that I needed to be at, and I ran with it. I didn't have a good reason why. I didn't have the money in the bank. I didn't have all kinds of reasons why I should go. It felt right, and I was right to have trusted that. I made a ton of contacts. I made a lot of connections, and I learned a lot about myself and about other people and about this business of coaching and coaching others that I really needed to experience. So, trusting that intuition can be very helpful. Where else could this show up for you? You might be miserable at work and you might have some gut inspiration that you need to make a change, to become a teacher, to become a coach, to become a firefighter. I don't know what it is that excites you, turns you on. But the more that you dampen that and push that down and relent to those to the committee members, it's going to make you unhappy. And my goal is to help you guys do what you love to do more often than not so that you can be happy more of the time. And trusting your gut and intuition is, for me, the best way, the most supportive way to help people move forward. So, what I would like to do is to ask you a couple of questions to help you move forward. So, or to help you tap into this. So, can you, and even if you have to pause this recording in order to be able to think about this, I would encourage that greatly. So, recently, when were you in a situation where you had a gut knowing moment that didn't have any good reason why, but you trusted it or didn't trust it? Did you talk yourself out of it with your committee members, or did you go with your gut? And how did that turn out for you? Likewise, how often has it come up where your inner voice is going around and around having a conversation of, I don't know, and this might not be the best move for me, and I don't know if I should do it, and this isn't a good idea, or I should leave them, or blah, 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 blah. So that whole muddled conversation. When is the last time you had a situation where you started focusing on that inner voice? And when did you let in somebody else's committee members sit on your board and direct you as to what you should or shouldn't do? And if you want to get really good at this, I would suggest that you pick up a journal and every night take 10 minutes to reflect on your day and to figure out when you noticed you had a gut intuition that you followed or didn't follow. What was it telling you to do? It doesn't need any justification, and you'll probably have language around it like it just felt right. I got a good vibe. You don't need a reason. It's a feeling. It's a knowing. It's a trusting. And write about it. Likewise, as part of that journaling experience, when did your inner voice kick in? Where the committee members came in and were trying to talk you out of situations and try to use judgment and rationale and trying to figure everything out. When did that show up? And how did that affect you? And I would track this for a week, 2 weeks, a month, to start knowing start realizing when it's your gut intuition talking, or uh, or if it's your committee that's talking to you, and see how that starts to affect the way you approach situations, approach your life, so that you can start living your life without limits. Start taking some risks in your life so that you are doing the things that you love versus doing things that you think you have to do to keep you safe. Because if I can share any words of wisdom, leaving my quote unquote stable government job was the best decision I've ever made. Apart from marrying an amazing woman, having some pretty cool kids, and and following my dreams. So with that, I think I'll leave it at that for now. If you have any questions about this topic, or if you have any other questions about coaching or who I serve and how I help people, head on over to info@coachian.com. Send me an email at that address. Check out my website, coachingdeconstructed.com, and feel free to share this video on YouTube with your friends. I hope to be doing a lot more of these. So until next time, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.